Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark, and today we'll be talking about You're gonna die! You're about to die! Something super important that just happened, guys, okay? Some super important YouTube news that everyone should talk about right now. Everyone needs to talk about it. Being a Discord degenerate. Being someone who spends all day on Discord just mindlessly scrolling and looking for social connections in a world that ultimately just finds you kind of annoying. Sad, isn't it? Should've stuck with Skype.
I don't sleep! I have no friends! No social life!
So one of the things that I've ranted about the most on this channel and these types of videos is Discord degenerates. People who spend too much time online, people who are coomers, people who have no real prospects, people who are lazy, people who are depressed. You know, it's a certain intersection, a certain archetype of individual. Hikikomori in Japanese. Neets really is the word maybe you'd use for them in this day and age, right? These people. And I've spent a decent amount of time just calling these guys dumb and stuff like that. But today I want to take the break from that sort of content to talk about the internet as a whole, to talk about being a Zoomer, online friends, the importance of connections with people, and the way that the world has really changed in the past, 20, 30 years. And I think it's something that we shouldn't take for granted, because we really do live in a wonderful time to be alive, There's some people who think they're born in the wrong generation, that kind of thing, but I think that we couldn't ask for a better time to be born into than right now. We truly are in the best time that's ever been. So I'm 20 years old, and as someone of this age, I'm part of the first few generations to really have internet friends. People that you meet through the internet that you never would have met without the access to the internet in the first place. Whether they are someone you met in a video game, or on a forum, or on Twitter, or Discord, stuff like that. People now have friends that they meet through the internet, and these friends can be all around the world, really anywhere. It's really crazy to think about, this is something we all take for granted today, because as far as I can remember, it's just sort of been the norm to meet people online and be friends with them, right? But it's a crazy thing that just 20 years ago, for the most part, never happened. And if it did, it was exceedingly rare. Now, it seems common to meet people on PlayStation or Xbox Live that you never actually meet in person, but do consider friends, and you play games and share ideas and stuff. I mean, when I was in high school, it was common for, people I knew to have friends they just played Xbox Live stuff with from, like, Tennessee, right? Across the country. And there's this idea among the older generation that internet friends are not real friends. It's all just kind of bullshit. It's whimsy. It's up in the air. And I get that sentiment, because a lot of internet so-called friendships can be pretty fleeting. But I would argue that they can be just as meaningful as IRL relationships sometimes, with people you meet through work. And the internet's nature of gathering around interest groups actually allows you to connect with people you never would have met otherwise, and people who probably have more in common with you than those you see, in real life on a daily basis. There's a lot of great benefits to meeting people on the internet. At the end of the day, being online and being on the internet is just a medium for communicating, but the ideas communicated are the same things you would theoretically share with people in real life. People online are more honest because there's less social repercussions for saying weird online than there is for trying to explain stuff about, like, the Las Vegas shooter to your coworker. But at the end of the day, it's just a way of sharing ideas between two flesh bags. People, these flesh bags, have ideas, and they send it through the computer, and then the flesh bag on the other side gets that idea and thinks about it and, shares their own stuff back. And this is really obvious. I don't mean to, like, pretend anything I'm saying here is profound at all. It's really obvious stuff, obviously, but really it's the same as writing something down on a piece of paper and sending it in the mail. Technology has just made the process so much faster and allowed us to speed up the rate at which we can send information, to the point that it's basically instantaneous now, right? As fast as you can type is as fast as you can get information out there. Now, typically when you meet people, where do you meet them? In the absence of the internet, it would be like through high school or college or through your job, right? Through social situations like going to clubs or bars or concerts, to get a little more specific around, interest stuff, and also through special interest groups, right? Like clubs and stuff like that. And the first club obviously being like a social, club where you go to, like, get drunk, and the second club being like, I don't know, the anime club or something, right? Now, all of these are great ways to meet people that are local to you, but meeting people online is different, because in high school or college or through a profession, hypothetically, you're meeting people because of circumstance. You live in the same area as other people, and you both have an interest in getting an education, which means you go to school, right? Proximity is the key here. Through a job, I mean, it's really the same thing with proximity. The only commonality usually being that you meet them around the shared interest of whatever that job is, mostly being making money. Most people are not that passionate about their jobs, so when you meet them, it's just out of shared interest of paying bills. There are some unique jobs out there where it's more of a creative thing, and maybe then you share an interest inherently outside of the whole need to survive and not be homeless, right? I imagine game designers or artists have a lot in common with the people they work with, but that's a very small portion of the population. The average person who, works in a warehouse or works at, like, a restaurant or something like that, probably not gonna, be the best friends with their coworkers. You may get lucky, but, chances are you're not gonna be super tight with them. But on the the internet, things are different. People gather around their specific interests or topics in online communities, and these communities can be composed of anyone. You can be in the United States, India, China, Russia, Brazil, Mars. You can be disabled and unable to leave your house or hospital bed. You can be in a coffee shop killing time. You can be a bodybuilder. As long as you have access to the internet and a device to get online, then you can communicate with others effectively. And that means that you can have an easier time meeting people online with your shared interests, because people specifically congregate in these communities, which can also get hyper-specific. You know, that weird autistic niche interest you have, or political ideology, unfortunately for a lot of people, that almost nobody in your area will have any interest in? Well, there's now a Discord server dedicated specifically to it, and there's 20,000 people just like you in it who want to meet other people who, you know, have the same interest. That content creator you're a fan of? Well, they have a Discord server full of people you probably have a lot in common with, because you both enjoy their content, which is about strange or niche subject material. On an unrelated note, join the Turkey Tom Discord at turkeytom.gg and check out turkeytom.net today to see all my other content. And with all of that exposition out of the way about meeting people online, I guess we should also get into the fact that these online friendships can also obviously translate into real life, because there's this distinction people make between like IRL and online, and you know, for practical purposes it makes sense to distinguish those two, but IRL and online are the same exact things. You just have this barrier of the internet to talk to people on because you're at the computer, but you can meet those same people in real life. They're all real people, apart from that bot you're talking to that you think is your girlfriend. Sorry to break it to you, buddy, but these, you know, online friendships can actually translate into real life. If you have the means, be it financial or otherwise, you can travel across the globe to meet these people you met through the internet in real life and actually get to know each other even more. This is something that my parents' generation really was scared of ever happening because of stories in the media about who could be behind that computer screen. And that's fair. I mean, a lot of my content I've covered, you know, stories about evil people who use the internet to cast a net and catch their victims, right? That does happen. But that happens in real life as well. And, you know, really predators for the most part are few and far between in the general population. The majority of people online on the internet are just normal people who want to connect with others through this amazing technology and medium that we all really just started having access to. And I love my real life friends very much. You know, the people I met in high school, people I met in, you know, middle school before then. I actually had the same friend group of 4 or 5 kids when I was 8 until I was about 18 and graduated high school, and we still hang out when we can to this day. I got really lucky in that people close to me had a lot in common with me early on, and we kind of stuck together. We never had any friction or drama or stuff like that, right? But at the same time, I've also had some of the most meaningful connections of my entire life with people I met initially on the internet. My girlfriend, who I live with, is someone I met on the internet when I had just finished high school a few years ago, and now we spend more time in real life than I spend with anyone I met initially because of my proximity to them. She's someone who, without the internet, I never would have ever met, and probably I'd have a harder time finding a partner that I feel I relate to, but because we met online, we had a lot of shared interests, and it was just sort of easy in that way, right? And this is a story I've seen play out with a bunch of my friends, both content creators and people who work normal jobs, but also spend a lot of their free time online. I've seen multiple relationships start and end from meeting online. And obviously, e-dating is one thing. You know, mostly teenagers do this. They like date over the internet and like never actually meet their partner in person. But I'm talking about people who met on the internet and then changed their life circumstances by moving or something to be closer to their love interest, or they, you know, they meet up often, or maybe they met online but they happen to live close, so they can just, you know, make it a real life relationship, so to speak, pretty quickly. Not talking about cringy daters, okay? And beyond my girlfriend, some of my best friends in my life in general are people I met on the internet and have continued friendships with. There are people you meet online and you talk to for a bit, and then you just kind of drift away after a bit, but that happens in real life too. It's called having an acquaintance or just having a, you know, a short-term kind of friend out of circumstance. And I've had plenty of those friends, but I've also had some of my online friends at this point since I was 14 or 15 years old. And I'm turning 21 this year, so it's been 5, 6, almost 7 years I've known some of these people. And I've also made an effort to travel and meet a bunch of people in real life and go to events with them and go to parties and eat food with them and, you know, all the things that normal real life friends, quote unquote, would do. And it's really the same exact experience as having real life friends. Without the internet, though, I never would have met any of these people. And to take the internet for granted for this amazing ability is something that I honestly feel bad about ever doing in the past, because what this technology allows is so incredible. I mean, with anything, they can have its downsides, right? You know, you can be internet addicted or whatever. You know, nothing is good in extremes. Maybe is a bad example because it's probably bad for you, just like bottom line, not good for you. But at the same time, you know, the internet is a really versatile tool where you can learn so many things and do so much, and to take it for granted would just, you know, it would be doing it a disservice. This technology is amazing. This is something I've been pondering a lot lately. A lot of what I said probably seems pretty obvious to you guys. I mean, it is obvious. I can't get around that, right? I've just kind of been ruminating on these thoughts quite a bit lately for the past while. And I think the reason why is because I'm about to, this weekend actually, this video might be out by the time this happens, but I'm about to meet someone in real life who I've known online for like 5 years at this point. We've worked on videos together and sat up all night playing video games together and stuff, and you know, now we're gonna meet in person for the first time, and I'm honestly looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great experience. Every time I've met someone else, you know, online that I then met in person, it was an awesome experience, and I expect this to be no different. And I guess I just wanted to share my sort of, is this even pseudo-intellectual? I don't even know if that's the right words for it, but my kind of thoughts on this stuff and just my appreciation, because, you know, money is cool, YouTube's cool and all that stuff. The biggest realization I've ever had in my life is that other people are what makes me personally happiest. This is not the case for everyone, but, you know, for me, relationships, friends, connecting with others, there's really nothing better than sharing your information that's in your brain with another person and getting the indication that they understand it and sharing those ideas back with you. It's an awesome feeling to have friends. It really is. And the internet has allowed me to meet a lot of great ones, and I think a lot of other people too as well, you know? And so for that reason, I guess my intention with this video is just to express that everything's good in moderation, I guess. I don't know what the message is. I've just known a lot of people in my life who's like only friends are online, and they never meet in person, and they're miserable. They are absolutely miserable, you know? If your only pals are online, you never meet in person, you're just like an internet degenerate, a neat, you probably will be miserable. But in some unique cases, I've also known people who are relatively happy only having online pals for some amount of time because they have other things going on in their life, like a job, hobbies, exercise, etc. Depends on the person, I guess, case by case basis. But for the most part, if you only have online friends, you might be miserable. I could say that much. But that's not due to online friends. That's because your life sucks and you have some unresolved issues going on. But really, the internet is just this great thing that you can learn so much on and have access to so many different individuals to share and learn with. And yeah, it's pretty epic sauce, pretty awesome sauce. Touch tips right now. Anyway, yeah, that about wraps up today's video. Just wanted to get my thoughts out about this kind of, you know, interesting topic. Ultimately, it's kind of straightforward stuff, but I don't know, it's been on my mind. I thought I'd share it with you guys. You guys seem to like these ranty type videos. Speaking of the video, it's ending, I guess. But if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. If you disliked it, then leave a dislike and tell me why you disliked it in the comment section below. These kind of more, I don't know, I don't think esoteric is the right word. My vocabulary is really rotting today, but these kinds of more introspective topics are stuff that I like to talk about, and it's good to hear what you guys have to say about it. So if you've met online friends or stuff like that in real life and you want to tell me about it, maybe you've had good experiences, maybe you've had bad experiences, be sure to tell me in the comment section below. I do actually read the comments, believe it or not. Only on this channel though, not on the other one. That stuff it's too much to handle. As I said earlier, you can join the Discord at turkeytom.gg or go on my website turkeytom.net to find all of my links to other content, including my main channel videos, my friend's Twitter account at AnonBird with 2 Ds. Watch my streams, please watch them. I stream on this channel for a while, like every day, every other day and stuff. Yeah, that's probably it. Bye.